Good evening, everyone. Uh, First of all, many congratulations to you all who have qualified for the mains examination. And those who are writing the mains examination this year. Uh, this our program, this complete mentorship program by India Bhai, is basically focusing on four components. First is the test series. Second is the most important part, that is the webinar, and third part is the personalized mentorship, and fourth is the essay mentorship. So uh, today I want to discuss to some of my students who have joined, and this first webinar is open to all, in which we'll be discussing about uh, the things which you should remember during the mains examination for ethics paper. Today the topic will be on ethics, and see, these webinar, the purpose of this webinar is to prevent you to avoid certain mistakes which you people are doing unknowingly, unconsciously, right? Unknowingly, unconsciously. Why? Because every year most of you are writing the mains without getting the final interview call or the final selection. In all cases, most of the candidates do not know that what the problem they are facing, why they are not getting the interview call, or even after getting the call, finally they are not getting selected, or maybe selecting in a lower rank. So some mistakes people are doing every year without knowing that these are the mistakes, and most of these mistakes are being ignored or not considered as mistakes during the various test series. So the purpose of webinar is basically mentorship only, but rather than telling each one of you individually that what you should do, what you should not do, this we have made a group webinar in which, apart from the personalized mentorship, we will also tell you the overall general mentorship. General mentorship means like what things you should remember, what things you should practice in your test series, in whatever the institution you have joined, how to write and what to write and what not to write. Basically, what not to write in various papers. So today we'll discuss about ethics, because our ethics is starting as a first paper, and then we'll follow about the GS 1, 2, 3 and essay, and other important things also which we'll discuss from time to time, right? So basically there are lots of things we are going to discuss in 8 to 10 webinars. These webinars is most important part of the CMP, complete mentorship program, where most of the candidates who are writing for the first time in the mains, they will get those important information, important knowledge, which when they are inculcating in your answers, it will be taken as your answer will be more matured and more, you know as per, as if you are writing third mains, fourth mains, even if you're writing the first mains. That means the experience of mine as well as the experience of various candidates till now will be with you while you are writing the mains examination. So that is the purpose of this webinar. Okay. In general, I'll tell you that this webinar has been, most important part of our this program, and it is open to only only for the students who have joined the mentorship program. Other candidates, we have just opened for the first time. The first class is free for everyone, so that you come to know that what mistakes you people are making. Once we close admission, so we will be discussing with this mentorship to our students only. And you can see that there are various candidates last to last year, Rahul Srivastav, like 10th rank, he scored 434 in GS, and one I think 144 in essay. And that was his first mains. Why? Because so much marks, because of the fact that he have used all those things which we have discussed in the webinar in his answers. So he wrote actually what is required without committing any mistakes, which you do not know that these are the mistakes people are doing it every year. Okay, so let's start. So uh, first of all, let me introduce you myself. I am Astush Gupta, popularly known as India Bhai, and our institute name is India Bhai IAS, and the name of the program is the Complete Mentorship Program. Uh, and we have been located in the in the old Rajendra Nagar, just opposite to the Batra Medical Store. And let's start about ethics. Like you see, there are various things which we should know while writing an ethics paper. See, most importantly, the content is most important. The content which you are writing in the ethics paper is most important. But the most of the candidates are facing the problem of completion of the paper of ethics, especially the case studies as well as sometimes the theory part also. So we'll discuss that also. So let's see, like what are the strategies which you should adopt in the case studies. Today I'll discuss mostly about the case studies. The next class we'll discuss about the theory part, theory case study, theory part of the ethics, so that you should attempt the paper as per these strategies. Okay. So Sahil, whatever the fees and everything is given is already shared in the India IS channel, right? Everything you can note down from there. Let me discuss the important things which you should remember while attempting the ethics paper. See, first of all, there are, you know that there are two parts, that is case studies and the theory part, and everyone should know that 1.5 hour should be there for each part. That means if you're writing the theory part first, so 1.5 hour, or if you're attempting the case study part, that also 1 hour 30 minutes. If you're exceeding this part, if you're exceeding this part of 1 hour 30 minutes in any way, you are going to lose some of the question in the other part, or you are going to compromise on the quality of the answers in the other part. That is for sure. Okay, for example, if you are uh, going to attempt the paper of ethics case study and you're taking time of 1 hour 40 minutes or more than 1 hour 40 minutes, that means 1 hour 45 minutes, 1 hour something, how much you are taking, that much you are going to lose on the other part, theory part, if you're attempting case study first, or vice versa. For example, those candidates, you know that there are 6 questions in the ethics case studies, right? And each question require 15 minutes. Okay, so total 1 hour 30 minutes. And you know that there are long case studies. While reading the case studies, it will be, you will take approximately 3 to 3 minutes approximately to understand the case study, and meanwhile jotting the important things in your mind, maybe 1 more minute, 4 minutes. So actual time of writing the answer may be 11 minutes. That is the maximum time, right? If you are exceeding that time, then it is going to increase more than that, right? So if you increase 2 minutes in every question, or 3 minutes in every question, that means you are exceeding totally. Maybe in 3 minutes 18 minutes you are exceeding, that means you are losing heavily on the other part. Okay, so try to understand this, that what to use and how to attempt the paper. So coming to the point, like uh, 6 question 15 minutes, 4 minutes if you consider maximum for reading and understanding the question, and 11 minutes, or maybe if you are a quick reader, right, then maybe 12 minutes in writing the answer, 12 minutes in writing an ethics case study. That is all, that we have 3 4 parts, and that is very difficult to complete in 12 minutes maximum and proceed to the next question again. But so let me ask you some of the question. Plus, first you answer me this question, then we can go ahead, like what is the right way. Okay, all right. So think that in the ethics case study, how many of you who have written the names previously, or you are writing the test, you are exceeding 1 hour 30 minutes? How many of you? For example, if you consider the case study, starting from case study, because today we are going to do discuss about the case studies only. Next class will be discussed on the theory part. So what to attempt, how to attempt. So so any one of you, like 1 hour 30 minutes, are you exceeding, or what is the, if some of you are completing on time, that is also very good. How many of you are completing on time? Maybe the test series or the some more time. Okay, Saurabh, yes. 2 3 minutes, yes. Okay, Divya, yes. Okay, in general, in the ethics paper, there is, you know, time crunch is there. Okay, why it is there? See, ethics paper is that paper in which everyone can write everything. Matlab, Nobody is the person who will think that कि क्या लिखना है. Most of the people know what to write and how to write. ठीक है, in the ethics paper. So considering this part, so come coming to the point, for example, there are various questions in which most of the people writing the stakeholders, ethical dilemma, or maybe you're writing the ethical issues of that case studies, as per most of the coaching will tell you. So my question is that are you writing these things also in the question, your answer? दो पेज ही लिखना है, लेकिन दो पेज में अगर क्वालिटी नहीं हुआ, देन क्या करेंगे आप? नंबर कम मिलेगा. So you are writing, okay, you are writing the stakeholders and ethical dilemma, ethical, issues, or maybe conflict of values in every question, most of the questions. Okay, okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, fine. See, so I'll tell you where the time goes. Okay, now you will understand where the time goes in writing these things. See, first of all, try to understand that in ethics paper, okay, in ethics paper, what the question they are asking, what the question they are asking, if you have to answer that, try to understand that what the question they are asking, you have to answer that. For example, if the stakeholder is not asked, why you are writing it? Because for example, if they're not asking you ethical dilemma or ethical issues or the case or the stakeholder, these things, most of the coachings will promote that you should write in every case study. Now my question is, you have just 12 minutes or 11 minutes to write a case study, and those things which is not there, which is not compulsory, it is not asked, why you are going to write it? Why you are going to write it if it is not compulsory? For example, coming to the point, for example, like that extra thing writing considering the case study, for example, the ethical values, ethical dilemmas, or maybe the stakeholders, they are not asked in the question. If they are not asked in the question, if you're writing it, definitely you're not going to get that some additional marks because it is not asked in the question. It is, the question is different, right? The question is different, it is not asked. So if you're writing considering in every question you are writing something which is not asked, for example, uh, stakeholders, you're writing the ethical dilemmas, ethical issues, but it is not asked in the question. So definitely you are giving 2 3 minutes on every question which is of no use as per the marks are required. Because for example, if you're giving 2 minutes extra or 2 or 3 minutes, six questions multiplied by 2 or 3 means 17 18 minutes is gone on just writing what is not asked. And when it is not asked, UPSC is not awarding any marks in it. Okay, that is for sure, because it is not asked. When it is asked, definitely the marks will be there. Some marks will be written there on the right side of the question, and definitely you will be awarded that marks because that is asked. If it is not asked and you are writing it, definitely 100% be sure that you're not going to get extra marks. But the loss is yours. Why? You will say now that's something we have written something extra. But if you are writing something extra, but that extra part is not awarded in marks. In fact, you are losing the time. You are losing some 15 to 18 minutes overall in case studies. That will result in loss of question either in the case study part or in the theory part, definitely. So that loss of question will be either 2 or 3 questions will be left, or you have to compromise on this question. You'll write one page, half page, like that. So why? Because there is shortage of time in the ethics paper. You are writing what is not asked, that means you're not getting marks for that because that is not asked, and you are wasting some minutes, at least 2 minutes on every such part which is not asked, resulting in 2 into 12, 2 into 6, that is at least 12, or maybe 3 minutes if you're taking, so 18, 6 3 18, so 18, or maybe at least you consider it 15 minutes. That means one full-fledged case study will be lost, or two questions in the theory will be lost or compromised heavily. Okay, so considering this part that UPSC will give marks only on those parts which they've asked, you have to write what is asked. You can elaborate on what is asked. If they have asked you the ethical dilemma, So you can elaborate on ethical dilemma rather than just writing one line. You can write in 4 5 statements, and you can elaborate that is ethical dilemma is this. It is between these two these two ethical dilemmas are being faced by the person who is in the case study, right? You can explain those ethical dilemmas. So that is the elaboration of that question. And if it is of 5 marks, definitely you'll get more marks. That means marks वहां मिलेगा जो पूछा गया है. Where the question is not asked, marks, increased marks won't be there. Okay, okay, is it clear? So this is one thing. So marks are allotted for the question asked, and you writing what is not asked, that is of not much use. Instead, it will waste your time, and definitely you will have shorter time for other questions. Okay. Next, that is the considering the next part. Like for example, uh, sometimes there are various questions in which the same templates students are actually using. Many students are using the same templates in all the questions. For example, generally people are writing with the same statement. It is some introduction, some conclusion, and in between they are using the same like statement of like stakeholders or ethical dilemmas. So that same template should not be repeated in all the questions. Why? Because it will look like some coaching cooked students are writing the test this examination, because coaching will only give you the templates, that these templates this way you have to write, these are the templates, this is the format. So avoid writing the same format in every question. Instead, you can dynamically change the format. That means sometimes you can introduce the things, sometimes you do not introduce, sometimes you ignore the extra part and write what is actually asked. Okay, uh, guys, please don't ask the question now, because I'll give you the separate time to ask the question. Because let me complete it. There are lots of things are there already. We are running short of time. Within half an hour, I have to complete. Okay, so let me complete first. Then I think most of the question will be resolved within the discussion.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. So just try to diversify your answer, because every time when those candidates who are getting good marks in ethics, they are actually changing the template. They are not using the same template in every question, changing it, diversifying it as per the requirement of the question. So this way you can have your fluidity in your answer, and that actually gives a good impression that you have understood the question and used your own mind and dynamically changed as per the question asked. Okay. Now there are various questions in the case studies where sometimes they will be asking you what is your like as a collector or SP, what is your steps, what you will do. And in that particular situation, what is your first step, or what will you do. Or sometimes they will ask you also that what are the options available to you and what is the best option. Okay, these types of questions also they are asking. And first of all, try to understand that then the case studies, the majorly the marks is based on not the options, but the correct and right option that you will do when you are that person concerned, maybe collector or SP, right? That means some steps which you will take, which will be right. That is only the main answer of the case study. Rather than giving the options that may not be so much important, but what you will do as per the situation finally, that is important. So your marks is based on that only. Okay. Now, for- sometimes they're asking you like what are the various options available to you. Now you know that there are various options, like there may be uh, 4 options, 5 options, 3 options, 2 options, any option you can write, right? But considering the time crunch, that time crunch is also there. Now you cannot write 5 options. Considering that all those things, 3 options will be good enough. Okay, because you see, 2 options is very less likely to write. 5 option, that is too much to write, and in case it will be more or repetition with various uh, options in various forms. So basically, 3 options will be better. Okay, most of you writing like how many options? Three or four, or maybe five. If they're asking you, sometimes they're asking, sometimes they're not asking. It depends, right? So yeah, D Kumar, 3 4 3 4. Okay, fine, fine, right. So generally, maximum is five. You cannot cross five in all questions. Almost three is fine. Why? Because let's see, let's define what are those options could be. What could be those options which you are writing in? Option one could be, and you can change your your own way. But what I am actually preferring, I will tell you what is the best way which you can write. Option one could be the maintaining the status quo. Whatever the case study is there, some status quo things will be there because in the government's scenario, mainly the things may remain status quo. So whatever the status quo things are there, you can create as option one. Okay. Option two can be any extreme or drastic action. Extreme, any drastic action. That means sometimes you will write something which is some extreme step. So that things can be there in the uh, part two, option two. And option three will be the best course of action. Okay. Option two, option three will be the best course of action. So three options like that you are writing. If you are writing the five options, considering for example, so in that case, option one and three will be almost same. One will be that maintaining the status quo, and option three will be the best course of action. That also will be there. And best course of action will also be there. So what is different will be the option two. That is the extreme or drastic action. So here you have to create more or lesser extreme or drastic action. Like, so if you're writing five options, option one and option three, that is the status quo, option one, and option three, that is the best course of action. These will be same. The different thing will be that is the drastic or extreme course of action in which in various degrees. So less drastic, more drastic, right? So you have to create three options. So more or less, its merits and demerits also you have to write, which is mostly similar. So therefore, such things will not be. It's more of repetition in the answer, more of repetition. So basically, so that is why just three options is sufficient. Okay. So so considering this, है ना, for example, if you are writing the option one and three, maybe one will be the status quo, option three will be the best course of action, but option two may be like that. Because I'm just telling you some of the options which you might be writing in your answer in the test series as well as in the actual examination. Like for example, option two, some drastic or extreme action will be like like as an officer, you are going to the court, or you will become a whistleblower, right? Some maybe something of corruption will be there, so you can become the whistleblower, or you resign from the job, or maybe seek transfer, or maybe you just ignore the advice given by the seniors or whatever the uh, person who is there in the case study. So these things may be something like some drastic extreme action which may be variable in various ways. There are n number of drastic actions, so there is no need just one drastic action which you feel suitable as per the case study. Write it. Okay, merits and demerits you write them further, and then you have to come to the point that then what will be the best course of action, because the marks will be based on best course of action. Okay, your marks will not be based on what you are writing, and as per the options. Option C, option one, status quo, extreme action, everybody can write. Whatever they are writing, just an idea. It will not be implemented in the ground. But implemented in the ground is what? It will be implemented what you are doing in the case study as a collector or as a SP. So considering it as that is the best course of action is important in the case study, and that is the only thing that will fetch marks. Okay, if it is wrong or it is completely wrong, that means you will get very less marks in the case study, right? If it is right, you will get almost maximum marks in the case study. Rest things is not much of importance except little bit. Some questions may be there little bit only, but mainly that what you will do as a collector or what is the best course of action of yours. So what are the various ways, what are the various qualities of that best course of action? Try to understand this. Matlab, how you know that your answer is best course of action? How? Because there may be many things you are writing, but how you know that this is the best course of action? So we have given some of the things, some of the criteria in which if that things fit in your, that option fit in your this criteria, it will be almost the best course of action or similar to it. Okay. So first of all, the best course of action is ethical. It is ethical part. See, something which is unethical cannot be the best course of action, obviously, right? So first is ethicality of the best course of action. Second is legality. It is illegal thing. Something which is illegal cannot be the best course of action. Something which you're saying that this you will do, but it is an illegal, that cannot be the best course of action. So considering as per the law of the land, it should be legal also. Third and most important part is it should be practical. Practical means it has been implemented in the past and may be implemented somewhere in some case study or somewhere here and there, or in general it is a practical option. That means it can be implemented without much difficulty on ground. So that practicality part is also very important of the case study of that best course of action. That is also criteria. Fourth part, it should not have an escapist tendency. Escapist means the as a collector or SP is escaping from the job and considering it as a best course of action. That is not possible. Like for example, if you're saying that maybe the best course of action, I will become a whistleblower and I will announce that corruption things in outside in the media and all. That is becoming a whistleblower is basically the escaping. Whistleblower as is not the job of an officer. It is a job of the activist. So you should not become the activist. You should be an officer only. है ना? So that is basically the है ना? That is escapist tendency. Again, someone may write that I will resign from the job. That is also an escapist tendency. Sometimes you seek the transfer and all because you're not able to decide what to do. You may seek the transfer. That is also an escapist tendency. That means how many times you will take you will seek transfer. There may be many things are there in your time your career. So you cannot say that for this means I will seek transfer. Also, you cannot say that I will ask my seniors. If you're writing this, I will ask my seniors. I will obey their orders. That means you are not clear with your own task what you are going to do. So even if you are writing the asking your seniors, you have to mention that what you are going to do, what you are going to do, rather than escaping just writing that that will follow what the senior advice. You do not know that what senior have advised. Examiner wants to know what you will do, but you are not doing. You're not writing that what you are doing. So that is also an escapist tendency. Also, you will take some. You if you're writing cell that I will take the help of the court. I will take the help of the court. That is again a escapist tendency. Most of the things, as an administrator, one should try to resolve in its own way rather than going to the court. It is the last opportunity, last way out. Because see, generally the person aggrieved will actually file the court case, not the officer, right? So generally, most of the cases are against the government, but it is not filed by the officer. Mostly, it is filed by the aggrieved persons. So in that case, you should not write that I will go to the court. It is also considering as an escapist tendency or something which you have written vaguely, not very clear. That is also basically an escapist tendency. You should not write that way. Escapist tendency, writing something vaguely, not much clarity, also means the escaping tendency. Okay, and the final, not last but not the least, the final thing after escapist tendency that your this will is this best course of action will have this criteria, that is it should resolve the ethical dilemmas. Whatever the ethical dilemmas in the case study is there, the best course of action will resolve that ethical dilemma. You'll feel that putting that best course of action in your mind and with the case study, if you're telling it and you will think about the ethical dilemmas, you'll see that it has resolved those ethical dilemmas. So that is the biggest or very clearly this will give you the idea of it. Okay, still not people are joining. Anyways, most of the things you have left. Next, maybe I'll provide recorded. Let's see. Okay, so coming to this, that this best course of action will determine that what is how you're going to get marks in ethics paper. Okay, and mostly the case studies will fetch you more marks than the theory part. Okay, case study because it is very clear, very much objective, and directly writing the what is asked. Not I will also suggest you that try avoiding the writing the name of thinkers in the case studies. See, thinkers and all, they're basically meant for the theory part. Considering case study, if you're going to write a thinker, that means the examiner will see case study is basically about your own thought process. It's about your own personality. It's about your what you think and what you feel and what you see and what you will do if you're put into that post as a collector or a SP, right? So examiner is interested in what you will do rather than what thinker will say, and based on a thinker you are saying this. It's like something like that Mahatma Gandhi said, do or die, so I'll do this or I'll die like that. Okay, it's basically you are projecting the thinker way in your answer. That is basically seems like copying. In fact, you should think in your mind and apply and write practically, because case study is basically based on day-to-day things, day-to-day matter in the news. Something in the news may come in the form of case study, or something which is actually relevant and practical. So your answer should be practical, है ना, with not much difficulty, not at all theoretical, and that try avoiding using the name of thinkers, because this will give your answer an theoretical look, and more more of bookish language look. In fact, the case study part is your own part. That means your thought process, your knowledge, your information as per the case study you are writing. What you'll do as a SPO collector. So try and understand this. Most of the candidates who are writing such bookish answer in the case study are getting less marks. So be sure on that part. Okay. And now, considering like some ethical dilemmas are there. There are many ethical dilemmas you might be knowing. Most of the people are writing many ethical dilemmas. Like some case like father and son is there. Like there are lots of ethical dilemmas. You're writing five ethical dilemmas. See, basically the ethical dilemmas are two or three are there. Okay, I'll just tell you. Most of the ethical dilemmas are just a offshoot of these three, these two. ठीक, offshoot means in various way you can write, है ना? But basically you're writing. There are two types of mostly the ethical dilemmas. That is, first is personal versus professional ethics. That is one of the ethical dilemma. That means something which is conflicting with your personal life, and that is also conflicting with the professional life. So that is one kind of ethical dilemma. ठीक है, in that thing you can have so many ways to write it, है ना? Like teacher versus father, है ना? Like some, if you case take the case study of a teacher, so teacher versus father, if he's father of a son, maybe son is studying in that school. So that is basically in various ways you are writing, but it is basically the personal versus professional ethics. So you can there's no need to write all the ways, just one way you write and explain it, like how it is professional, how it is personal, how they are conflicting. So that will do the job. ठीक है. Then coming to maybe another type of ethical case state, ethical dilemma, that is call of duty versus call of conscience. In this case, that is call of duty means what you have to do as per your duty. Call of conscience means what your mind and your conscience is saying that is right, and you are asked to do as per the part of your duty which is not right. Okay. Sometimes maybe like you have been asked, like, you have been asked to spy on the sometimes the opposition leaders on their phones, tapping the phone calls. So that is part of your job, now, call of duty. But spying on some other phone, maybe call of conscience means that is not right. Because you are hearing what the opposition parties are talking, it is not related to like anything. Nah, they are talking. They might be talking something which may help you to devastate them or capture them. But it's actually call of conscience will say no, that is not right. Sometimes, I'm just telling you the example. Like that, things may come. So, Call of Duty versus Call of Conscience and personal versus professional ethics. These two types are there mostly, and some are offshoots of these two or three parts. Okay, so you can just write one thing and explain it. Okay, so this is about like case study, and also sometimes like there are many various parts in case studies, like ABCD whatever, है ना? And you write the answer. Be sure that you write in that order, because the same way they are actually checking the copy also, and the marks they are given, you actually fulfill that criteria of that marks. That means if it is like 5 marks, it's something, not just one statement will not suffice. Right? Elaboration is needed. If there's 2 marks, 1 marks, okay, one statement or few words is okay. But if you're writing 5 marks, 10 marks, you have to elaborate, explain the things as per the requirement. Okay, so that will be done only when you save your time. When you save your time by not writing unnecessary things, unnecessary useless things. If you're writing, you're saving that time. Then only you are going to write this, and then only you're going to attempt it properly. Elaborate on what is asked. ठीक है, तो this is this way if you're doing it, then definitely your marks will be increased because you are elaborating on what is asked thoroughly, and you are not writing irrelevant, content that is fetching no marks. Okay, so this is some of the things. And let me ask some of you that if you have any queries there. Any query in this case study?
सर
Sound right.
सर आपने बोला कि केस स्टडी में हर एक जैसा ही नहीं लगना चाहिए, थोड़ा डाइवर्सिटी होना चाहिए आपके आंसर में। तो ये
Right.
डाइवर्सिटी सर किस तरह से लाएं अपने हम केस स्टडीज में
ठीक है.
और इन जनरल आंसर्स में?
Okay. See, एक चीज और कहना भूल गया मैं. One more thing I want to tell you. See, introduction and conclusion are not very required in the case study. See, there is no time to introduce the case study. Why? Already the case study is very much elaborated format given by the examiner. ठीक है, लंबा चौड़ा लिखा हुआ है, and you are finding and you are summarizing that case. Most of the coaching will tell you to summarize the case study. See, it is not needed. It will kill your time and your paper will be you will not be able to complete your paper. ठीक है, तो you will ultimately you are the loser. ठीक है, तो डोंट सीक द एडवाइस ब्लाइंडली. मेरा भी एडवाइस आप मत लो ब्लाइंडली. यू जस्ट अप्लाई ऑन योर सीरीज पेपर एंड यू थिंक एंड यू विल नो दैट देयर इज नो टाइम लेफ्ट. राइट. अगर आप उसमें इंट्रोडक्शन लिखेंगे, कंक्लूड करेंगे, hardly time will be there because you see 2 3 lines of introduction that is summarizing the whole this one case study, and conclusion you are also concluding on whatever the best course action is there or maybe something else. It is again not required because case study का format ना एक theory questions की तरह नहीं होता है, GS 1 2 3 का नहीं होता है. It is in a format of directly practically using your mind on the as per the case study and writing the answer because time is less, right? If you want to elaborate, see introduction conclusion nowhere it is written that you have to write, but कोचिंग वाले करवा रहे हैं, ठीक है, हो रहा है, no problem. But case study में कहाँ requirement है introduction conclusion का? Not at all. टाइम भी नहीं है. If you are writing with so much fast, so much speed आपका, तो आप लिखिए. See, if you are so good in writing very quickly, very fastly, so then you write whatever relevant, irrelevant thing that doesn't matter. But 90% of the candidates is are writing in a normal average way, and definitely they're getting into the service. So what they are doing is that they are writing what is relevant. Unrelated things they are not writing. ठीक है. अच्छा, अब बात है, now coming to the point that introduction conclusion Vijay Kumar, it's done. Next is the templates. Templates, see, templates is very clear that I mean to say that various coachings are giving the template. I am not giving any template. Why? They are telling you that summarize the topic, summarize the whole case study. It is the introduction part. Then coming to the stakeholder part, write stakeholder, write the ethical dilemma, write the conflict of values, and then come to the what is asked. तो ये template है starting वाला. Yes. फिर क्वेश्चन पे आए बाद में आप. So that is the template in the beginning of that actual answering of question, that is introduction. Then you conflict of interest, stakeholders, ethical values, dilemma, whatever. This is a template. It should not be followed. You dynamically use it. Sometimes, as per the question asked, you write. Sometimes you do not write. है ना? Introduction, conclusion. If you think you have 2 minutes extra, 1 minute, write 1 or 2 lines. Else not needed. That means the template you should not. There is no template. It's dynamic things you write as per the different question asked. Examples you can definitely use where whatever the examples you can write that case study related to some other thing also, that also you can mention. हर केस स्टडी में ये पूछता है ऑप्शन ऑफ लेवल मेरिट डिमेरिट सेम टेम्पलेट नहीं, दैट इज टेम्पलेट. ये वाला टेम्पलेट की बात नहीं है. आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट द टेम्पलेट विच इज राइटिंग बिफोर आंसरिंग द एक्चुअल आंसर. दैट मींस द वो इंट्रोडक्शन कंक्लूजन सब पार्ट. और ये जो भी पूछता है ना, जो मेरिट डिमेरिट, दिस आल्सो यू कैन चेंज इट. समटाइम्स यू राइट द बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन, थर्ड पार्ट लिखिए, मेरिट्स लिखिए, उसके डिमेरिट्स लिखिए, है ना. चेंज द एंड द इंफॉर्मेशन स्टाइल, है ना, जो आप कंटेंट लिखें उसको चेंज करिए। मेरिट डिमेरिट बाद में बीच में एडवांटेज डिसएडवांटेज लिख दीजिए, ठीक है, सो दैट द एग्जामिनर नो दैट यू आर ए पर्सन हु इज, क्या रट्टू नहीं हो आप ये रट कर नहीं आए हो, एंड द केस स्टडी एंड द प्रैक्टिकल थिंग्स यू हैंडल इट वेरी केयरफुली, ठीक है। तो रटने वाला लोगों को नहीं चाहिए कि इसकी रट के आया कोचिंग से लिख दिया, वही लिखना है वट एवर यू नो, वट एवर एज पर योर अंडरस्टैंडिंग से, ठीक है। ट्राई अवॉइड यूजिंग थिंकर्स, आई टोल्ड यू, है ना। कोचिंग वाले बहुत बोलेंगे, लेकिन आई विल टेल यू दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द कोचिंग हैव नॉट रिटन द मीन्स एथिक्स पेपर, ठीक है। तो वो लोग जो पढ़ा रहे हैं तो पढ़ा रहे हैं, पर वो एक्चुअली एग्जामिनेशन में इम्प्लीमेंट करना बहुत मुश्किल है। एनी अदर क्वेरी, Rag and all? Yes, Divya, tell me.
Good evening, sir. I just wanted to ask one thing since you are facing these challenges on day to day. हम लोग तो बस पढ़ रहे हैं इसके बारे में. So if you can take one session or as it is convenient for you, या फिर आप हमको टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पे ही कुछ पॉइंटर्स बता सकते हैं that what are the legal powers जो on ground होती हैं आपके पास as an administrator, and what are the reality, like ground reality, and what are the actual challenges that you face, and most importantly आपके पास uh, उस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम पे उस सिचुएशन को हैंडल करने के लिए लीगली क्या पावर्स होती हैं?
ओके, राइट, गुड। ऐसे दिव्या, इसमें क्या है ना कि ये तो बहुत सारी चीजें हैं, मतलब एवरी डे समथिंग न्यू, समथिंग बैड इज कमिंग अप, एंड वी डील इट एज पर द रूल्स, एज पर आवर कॉमन सेंस। बेसिकली एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में देयर इज नथिंग लाइक रूल्स, और थोड़ा बहुत रूल्स फॉलो होता है, बाकी सब कॉमन सेंस एंड मोस्टली कॉमन सेंस से काम होता है, एंड मोस्टली आपका जो टैक्ट है कैसे उसको मिला जुला के काम करा लेना है। सो बेसिकली इट्स ऑल अबाउट दोस थिंग्स, बट इन केस यू हैव समथिंग लाइक क्या करना चाहिए, तो यू गिव मी, सेंड मी सम केस स्टडीज व्हिच यू थिंक दैट कि इसमें क्या एक्चुअली ऑन ग्राउंड होना चाहिए, तो आई डिस्कस दैट केस स्टडी इन द नेक्स्ट वेबिनार, वो हम कर लेंगे, टाइम कर लेंगे, बिकॉज नेक्स्ट वेबिनार आई वांट टू डिस्कस यू द थ्योरी पार्ट, बिकॉज वो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, और एथिक्स में अच्छे खासे नंबर निकल सकते हैं। आई डिस्कस दैट एज वेल एज समथिंग लाइक सम, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जो भी इंपॉर्टेंट प्रोविजंस है, लाइक लाइक क्या बोलते हैं 107 है, 144 है ना, ये सब जो चीज है, आई डिस्कस दैट कि हाउ टू अप्लाई इट, है ना। जब राइट हो जाए तो क्या करना चाहिए, है ना, व्हाट इज राइट वे, शांति समिति की बैठक में क्या होता है, वहाँ क्या क्या बातों का ध्यान रखना चाहिए, राइट। सो ये आपको प्रैक्टिकली मैं बता दूंगा, सो दैट यू मे यूज दोस थिंग्स इन योर आंसर, एग्जामिनर को लगेगा कि हाँ इसको काफी ग्राउंड रियलिटी पता है, तो दैट कैन बी डन।
Yes, sir. That will be very helpful for us.
राइट, मैं बता दूंगा इसको, एक क्लास लेके पूरा कंप्राइज, एक तरह के, अभी तक तो किसी ने मुझे ऐसे पूछा नहीं, लेकिन सिंस यू हैव आस्क्ड, आई विल यू नो टेल ऑल द डिटेल्स टाइप से कुछ कुछ चीजों का, इवन इफ यू हैव सम केस स्टडी यू जस्ट सेंड मी, आई विल एड्रेस दैट, ठीक है।
Thank you, sir.
बताइए और कौन, नेक्स्ट कौन, जितेंद्र।
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, as you mentioned that while addressing the case studies, we generally write three solutions, right? Sir, this conventional approach of writing two extremes then one middle path, that it is suitable because each and every student is following this approach. Because this approach that I have followed in my past two pens, and I didn't score well actually, sir.
नहीं, आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट राइट इट कंपल्सरीली ऑन एवरी क्वेश्चन, यू ट्राई टू अंडरस्टैंड द क्वेश्चन, मुझे लगता है क्वेश्चन भी डिस्कस करना पड़ेगा। सी क्वेश्चन विल से व्हाट यू विल डू एज ए एसपी कलेक्टर, तब उसमें नहीं लिखना है। See, when they're asking you that what you have to do as a collector, अब आजकल क्वेश्चन यही पूछते हैं what are your options available और what are the ways in which you will handle this situation, yeah, whatever the ways
Sir,
options,
because as you mentioned that there should not be an escapist tendency, then if you will write the one extreme statement, that's more or less कि आप escape ही कर रहे हैं, so that
yeah,
will be
something
right approach.
लगता है आज स्टार्टिंग से ज्वाइन किए थे,
हाँ सर, मैंने स्टार्ट से
हाँ तो स्टूडेंट हो ना।
जी सर।
हाँ, देखो मैं बताता हूँ, सी आई टोल्ड यू देयर आर थ्री पार्ट्स, ठीक है, थ्री ऑप्शंस। फर्स्ट इज स्टेटस को, ठीक है, वो तो आप कोई भी लिख सकते हो, जो भी, कोई एक्सट्रीम नहीं है वो, इट विल बी द नॉर्मल ऑप्शन। सेकंड विल बी द बेस्ट कोर्स, सॉरी, सेकंड विल बी द ड्रास्टिक और एक्सट्रीम एक्शन, तो उसमें कुछ भी आप मेंशन कर सकते हो। द थर्ड पार्ट इज द बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन, तो बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन के मार्क्स है, मोस्टली मार्क्स उसके हैं, एंड दीस थ्री यू हैव टू राइट ओनली व्हेन दे हैव आस्क्ड यू व्हाट आर द वेरियस ऑप्शंस अवेलेबल टू यू, what are the various options available to you. If they're asking as a collector or SP what you will do, then you have to write only best course of action. Or as a collector, these things have happened. Now what you are going to do in this scenario. और कोई भी अगर ये पूछ रहा है कि ऑप्शन नहीं पूछ रहा है तो बेस्ट कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन ही लिखना है. तो सारे क्वेश्चन ऑप्शन नहीं पूछता है, एक दो में पूछ लेगा, एक दो में वो भी मिक्स करके रखते हैं यूपीएससी, एक दो में पूछ लेंगे ऑप्शन, एक दो में नहीं पूछेंगे, थर्ड में कुछ और ही पूछ लेंगे. ठीक है, सो इट विल बी लाइक मिक्स थिंग. गॉट इट?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. मीडियम वाले कैसे प्रैक्टिस करें आंसर राइटिंग में? कौन से मीडियम वाले? हिंदी. तो यार ये तो कोचिंग ज्वाइन की होगी हिंदी मीडियम में, वहाँ वो लोग बताएगा. मोस्टली क्या है, प्रैक्टिस कर लिए आप, यू हैव टू प्रैक्टिस एंड उसको कॉपी चेक कराना है ना. उसमें तो कॉपी चेक करके मेंटरशिप लेंगे तब. दिस इज बेसिकली द वेबिनार स्ट्रेटजी क्लासेस है ये. सो विल गिविंग द स्ट्रेटजीज दैट हाउ टू परफॉर्म. जो भी आपकी नॉलेज है ना, सेम नॉलेज से आप कितने नंबर खींच सकते हैं एक्स्ट्रा. सो दिस इज द स्ट्रेटजी क्लास. मतलब 50 60 70 नंबर विद द सेम लेवल ऑफ नॉलेज इफ यू आर गोइंग द एग्जामिनेशन, आप उतने नंबर एक्स्ट्रा ले लोगे. यही सब चीजों का ध्यान रखते हुए जो हम यहाँ बता रहे हैं. क्योंकि सबसे बड़ी बात है, मेरे जो सीएमपी स्टूडेंट्स का एक भी स्टूडेंट नहीं होता जिसका पेपर छूटता है. और जिसका छूटता है ना, वो खुद ही बताता है कि सर मेरी गलती थी, मैंने इस क्वेश्चन में ज्यादा टाइम लगाया. लेकिन जनरली आप देखेंगे मोस्ट ऑफ द कैंडिडेट्स बहुत क्वेश्चन छूटे रहते हैं. लेकिन जिसको सिलेक्शन लेना है उसका कोई भी नॉन क्वेश्चन छूटना नहीं चाहिए. और एथिक्स में वेयर यू कैन राइट ईच एंड एवरी क्वेश्चन, यू हैव सफिशिएंट टाइम, यू हैव सफिशिएंट एबिलिटी टू राइट एवरी क्वेश्चन. क्योंकि क्या होता है, जनरलाइज क्वेश्चन होता है, सो यू विल राइट एवरी क्वेश्चन. तो छूटना बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए ethics में. क्योंकि एथिक्स ही ऐसा पेपर है जहाँ 125 140 130 डेफिनेटली यू कैन क्रॉस इजिली विदाउट मच एफर्ट बिकॉज ऑफ कंप्लीशन ऑफ योर पेपर. और सबसे बड़ी बात, सारे पन्ने भरने हैं. एटलीस्ट थ्योरी में 2 पेज मिलते हैं, दोनों भरने हैं. ठीक है, वो मैं उस दिन भी बताऊंगा. एंड आई आल्सो टेल यू इट व्हाट इज द रिलेशन बिटवीन द मार्क्स एंड द नंबर ऑफ वर्ड्स. ठीक है, इसका क्या रिलेशन है नंबर ऑफ वर्ड्स एंड मार्क्स का. एंड डू यू हैव टू परफॉर्म एज पर द मार्क्स और एज पर द नंबर ऑफ वर्ड्स, वो भी मैं डिस्कस करूंगा नेक्स्ट क्लास में. फोर आंसर आई एम रेडी टू. टाइम टेकन इज 5 मिनट्स एंड मैंने अभी स्टार्ट किया. ओके ठीक है, जो है यू स्टार्ट, कीप ऑन राइटिंग, है ना. सो विल सी आफ्टर धीरे धीरे करके लिखने लगोगे इफ इट इज द फर्स्ट आंसर राइटिंग. ठीक है, एनी अदर क्वेरी?
Yes, sir.
हाँ.
Sir, I'm confused in philosophy and sociology. Before prelims, I prepare philosophy for some weeks, and my syllabus is completed nearby 40 to 50%. But right now, I'm unable to recall the philosophical terms. So right now, I'm thinking to move towards sociology. And in recent years, the philosophy is not getting so much marks according to the toppers, and sociology
Deepak, अभी
become more better
I'll discuss
option.
that. I'll discuss that. है ना. This is basically on the webinar only, ethics webinar we just completed, right? See, option you have to decide on your own, है ना, which is best option as per your own choice, है ना. Maybe the philosophy or sociology that you have to decide and take. See the question paper, previously question paper, then you have to see and understand, then you decide. So, Vijay Kumar, if we cross the word limit, penalty marks, and please summarize the discussion as I join late. Okay, so Vijay, see, there is no penalty of the marks based on the word limit. I'll discuss that in the next class, and it is most important part of this webinar that क्या ज्यादा लिखने से नंबर कम होते हैं या कम लिखने से नंबर कम होते हैं, और either your marks are increasing if you write more or less if you're writing less, so your marks are decreasing. That is basically the relation between the marks and the number of words that I'll discuss. मैं इसका पूरा एक सेशन है. It is very important session. This will give you an insight on whether it is good to write more or whether it is stick to the word limit. ठीक है. So maybe you Deepak, you try understand sociology. Philosophy is yes getting lesser marks nowadays. Saurabh, discussion, maybe I'll share the videos, and it is basically for the CMP students, and first is webinar is open to all. I'll discuss, बहुत सारा डिस्कस कर लिया, एक घंटा हो गया, है ना. If I give you the short way, then you will get confused. Any other query by anyone? Okay. Organic query of Faizan? Abhishek Asit? डन है फिर, ठीक है. I think this has helped you in ethics case study, and maybe you try to use these things in your case study, है ना. And next we'll discuss about the theory part, that is statement based questions को कैसे लिखना है, इलाबरेट कैसे करना है, किन डायमेंशंस पे इलाबरेट करना है, राइट. कंक्लूजन का क्या रेलेवेंस है क्या थ्योरी पार्ट में, कैसे कंक्लूड करना है जो क्वेश्चन थ्योरी के हैं, आई डिस्कस दैट आल्सो, ठीक है. तो मोस्टली हम लोग डिस्कस कर लेंगे एंड व्हाट इज द बेस्ट वे टू राइट द आंसर और क्या रिमेंबर द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स राइट इन द थ्योरी पार्ट, ठीक है. थ्योरी, क्योंकि ये दोनों पार्ट बहुत इजीली यू कैन स्कोर मोर मार्क्स विदाउट मच एफर्ट्स, तो उसको यूज कर लेना हम लोग को, मतलब स्ट्रेटजी क्लासेस में जो हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे, राइट. तो एनी अदर क्वेरी, इफ इट इज नॉट, आई विल क्लोज. Okay then. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you everyone.